Today we will develop a simple 2-digit calculator using React. Okay, we will use different components like addition is a different component, multiplication is a different component, and division is a different component. We will export those components and use in another one component calculator, and we will use calculator in the client class. Okay, so how can we do that? There are 3 folders when you create a project in React. There are 3 folders. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and in the SRC folder I have this. Inside this this is index.js, and I will call this is a client file. For the addition we will write add.js, right? Add.js, and inside add.js import React. This is the object name from React, and import React DOM from document object model from React dash DOM. This should be same. These variables 1 and 2, you can use one DOM 1, but this should be same. Okay. Now I should call for the component there is a class, and for the addition we have named this addition, and it should be extends. It should extend React dot component, right? And we have every class must have a render function. Okay, this render function, render means display the output, and render will return what? Okay, we should have a get add. Okay, this function, this is our function, and we will return the addition. This dot props dot a is variable 1, and this dot props dot b, this is variable 2. Another thing, these 2 variables are basically strings, not numbers. Okay, so we should convert this into number this, and then add. First convert, this is number is a JavaScript function, and it will convert the string into number. And inside the render we will just return h1, and I will call it addition, and inside the braces I will just close this. Inside the curly brackets we will use this dot add. I will call this add. It will be returned to the client file. Now I should export this, export this addition class, addition component. Okay, so this is exported, and now new file save as calculator. Calculator will use it. Calculator.js will use it. Now calculator.js, and I will copy from the add.js, control A, control C, and inside the calculator control V, and I will call this calculator. Calculator will use what? Addition. So we should import that addition. Import what? Addition class from which file? Dot add.js, from add.js. Now this calculator should not have this add, right? Inside the render function we should have if this dot props means properties dot a is equal dot op, we will call it option. If user says plus, then it should call what? It should call we should say let option is this. Let option is this. Option is equal to addition a is equal to this dot props dot a. Okay, and B is equal to this dot props dot B. Okay, this dot props dot B. This is the option, and we should return option. Return option. It will return this inside the. It will call addition component. Send these two properties to the addition component, and add and display the result. Okay, and inside calculate this is calculator.js, and inside index.js we will import what? Calculator. Calculator. Calculator from dot calculator.js, from calculator.js, and we should call React DOM. React DOM dot render. Every component has render function, so React DOM has render, and it will render calculator, and it has properties. A is equal to 10, we are passing B is equal to 20, and option is equal to plus, and it should display this inside a div document dot get element by id. This what is the name of this? Name of this is, we go to index.html. Index.html, the name of the div is this root. ID is root. So I will call it inside the index.js. I will call it ID. Okay. Now I will go here and I will. Okay, it is saying index.js. Unexpected token index.js. There is plus. Okay, the problem is this. The problem is this. We have not closed it. Control R. Calculator.js. No such file or directory calculator.js. So we have calculator. Okay, we have this, but this should be renamed, right? I will rename it, and calculator.js. Control R, and it is render. Render document dot render. React DOM calculator. A is equal to 10. React DOM dot render. Calculator.js. Okay. And inside calculator, we have this render function, and it returns this. Okay. Export, and inside calculator, inside index.js, calculator A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, option is plus, calculator dot calculator.js, addition.js, add.js, and we have calculator. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, option is equal to plus. Okay, the problem is this root, right? Not ID. This is root. Control R, and addition is 30. Because we have seen this. This is ID. This is root. This root. ID is root. So we should call this root, right? Now for the multiplication, we just very simple, we create another component file save as multiplication.js or multiply.js. Okay, multiply.js. The convention should be same, right? That is add.js, this is multiply.js, and I will just copy this, and inside multiply, control V, and I will say this multiplication, add and multiply. This function should be multiply, and this operator should be multiply, and this should be multiply. Multiply. Okay, return this multiply, and it should be exported. Multiplication is exported, and inside calculator.js we import this file, right? We import this file, control C, and import multiplication, 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 and the add.js, this is multiplied from multiply.js, multiply.js. Okay, and we have to write some code for else if for multiplication. If the option is multiplication, then call multiplication, multiplication. Okay, now and again default, this is default addition, this is default calculator, calculator, default calculator should be exported, right? And now change this to multiply, multiply, and 10 multiplied by 20 is 200. Let's see, 200. Okay, and if I add, then this should be control R 30. And another one quick file is control divide.js. Very simple, same code repeated, just change the options, divide, control V, and division, 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 and this should be divide. Okay, name should be meaningful, right? And this should be divide, and this is divide, divide, this is division. And in the multiplication, this is division, division, division. Multiply.js, multiplication, and this should be multiplication, multiplication, multiplication. And inside the division, we have division, and this should work inside calculator, and we should import this class, this component, this class, this division, division from divide.js, and we have this else if, control C, control V, else if op is equal to divide, then we should say this divide, division, division is this and B is this return option. And now if I change in the client file, index file, I change this to this, then 10 divided by 20 is what? 0.5. And if I say 100 divided by 2, the result should be 50. Okay, control R, and 100 multiplied by 2 is 200, control R, and 100 plus 2 is 52, and control R. So this is not 52 but 102, right? So all options are working. So you see how easy this React.js is, and the why we use this component method, because to make code easy, okay, in the future. You see this React DOM, React, and all these modules. What are these modules? These are all components. Okay, these modules are because of these modules we can code, we can use these. So and they make React people make updates and we use. So for our calculator, for our product, we also use components, different components, and we can make different versions very easily. If I have all this code, add, edit, delete, or everything in one file, it is very difficult to maintain. It is very difficult to update the code in the future. So this is why we use components. So we have learned this, how to use variables, number one. Number two, we have learned this how to use if else conditions. We have used our own function, add, multiply, how to use that, how to use return statement in React, how to extend our class, how to make classes, how to make components, and how to use JSX, how to embed React code into JSX, what is render function, how to export render, how to export our classes, components, and how to use those, how to import those classes in the client file. So these are the concepts. You have to type it yourself to see the difference between other Angular or other JavaScript and this React. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.